This is Chris Videos. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. They'll all be down there in the description box. And I'm here to do my WWE Friday Night SmackDown February 24th, 2023 reviews. So here we go, discussing about tonight's episode of Friday Night SmackDown. Now, before we talk about the first match of the night, which was a six-man tag team match, we gotta talk about one segment now. We see Kayla Braxton waiting backstage, and Jimmy Uso comes into the building, and she wants to interview Jimmy Uso, talking about Jey, and Jimmy was like, I'll just go out there in the ring, and Jey, we're going to see if he shows up or not. So yeah, that's what Jimmy Uso said. And then we get to the first match of the night. It was the Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Ludwig Kaiser, and Giovanni Vinci Imperium versus Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss in a six-man tag team match. And this six-man tag team match was pretty good. Ricochet was doing pretty good in this match and everything. And then during this match, while Gunther was in the ring taking care of Ricochet, Drew McIntyre appears on the ramp and everything. So yeah, McIntyre is watching Gunther during this match. It looks like we're going to be getting a feud with them soon. But yeah, that's what he was doing on the ramp. And Gunther was doing pretty good, beating Ricochet down and stuff. He tags in Giovanni Vinci. Vinci was doing pretty good up until Braun Strowman gets tagged in. Braun Strowman was just wrecking everybody. During this match, we see Vinci tagging Gunther. Gunther starts beating down Braun Strowman, laying in some chops and stuff, trying to lock on a sleeper hold, but Strowman starts fighting back and stuff, and eventually he tags in Madcap Moss, while Strowman and Ricochet was handling the rest of Imperium, and Madcap Moss was doing pretty good backing Gunther up in the turnbuckles and stuff, beating him down and stuff, but then eventually Gunther comes up, hitting a vicious chop onto him, then hitting a German suplex, and then laying him out with a clothesline, picks him up, and hits the powerbomb onto Madcap Moss, pinning him for the 1, 2, 3. So yeah, Imperium defeated Braun Strowman, Ricochet, and Madcap Moss tonight in a six-man tag team match. That's what happened. And then after the match ended, Imperium was standing tall in the middle of the ring, staring at Drew McIntyre, and Drew McIntyre starts taking off the jacket and stuff, about to go down there, and it looks like he was about to fight with them, but up until he gets attacked from behind by Eric and Ivar, the Viking Raiders. So yeah, the Viking Raiders starts beating him down and stuff. And then Sheamus comes out brawling with the Viking Raiders and everything. And the Viking Raiders starts taking control of him as well. Up until Braun Strowman comes up, hitting a double shoulder tackle onto both of them. Ricochet gets in the ring, runs and jumps over the top rope with a twisting moonsault onto the Viking Raiders, taking them out. And then McIntyre and Sheamus hits a double big boot onto the Viking Raiders, knocking them over the barricade. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. For the match and what happened after the match, I'll give it 3 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was pretty good stuff. So yeah, that's what I'll give all that. But then after that, we see Rey Mysterio getting interviewed backstage, and it was talking about Santos Escobar and Karrion Kross and all them. And then Santos comes up wanting to thank Rey Mysterio for, giving him the mask and everything, and how he respects him and all that stuff. But then he gets interrupted by Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, the Judgment Day. So yeah, Dominic was talking about how, so you saying that you respect Rey, my deadbeat dad, and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Dominic was saying, and Santos was saying that you ain't gonna disrespect a legend like him like that, and I'll handle you. And then he turns around, and then he turns back around, and Rhea Ripley's in his face, laughing and stuff, and Santos telling Rey, don't let it bother you, and he goes like, well, that's my son, it's going to bother me. So yeah, that's what he said. But yeah, later on tonight we'll see Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Kross 1-on-1 tonight. But yeah, much more to still to come later on tonight on SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. But before I talk about this match, we're going to talk about what led up to the match and stuff. But before we talk about all of that, I'm going to talk about what's going on with the Bloodline. So we see Jimmy Uso talking to Solo Sikoa backstage. Paul Heyman's back there, and Jimmy was talking about how Jey was there for him, in the tag team title match a few weeks ago, and he just don't even know what's going to happen now for sure. Like, he knew that Jey had his back and everything a few weeks ago, but now since what happened, that Elimination Chamber and everything, he said he don't even know. was going to go through Jay's head. So yeah, that's what Jimmy was saying. And then Paul Heyman comes up, he goes like, Jimmy, how about this? I'll keep Solo back here, and you go out to the ring, and you confront Jay face to face, since y'all are twins, and you know him better and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Paul Heyman said. And Jimmy was like, yeah, okay. And then we get to LA Knight. LA Knight comes out, and, he's doing his thing, talking about how everybody wants to go to WrestleMania and make WrestleMania moments, but he's there for bigger and better things. That is to make more money than anybody, win more titles than anybody, and, keep on main event WrestleMania and all that stuff, and you got your WrestleMania moments. So yeah, that's what LA Knight was saying. But then he gets interrupted by Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, the New Day. Kofi Kingston comes out talking about how, you gotta have a WrestleMania moment and all that stuff. And LA Knight was like, yeah, WrestleMania moment, but you know what happened after? Your career went nowhere, whatever. So yeah, LA Knight starts laying in on Kofi Kingston. Kofi was like, you know what? I did have a WrestleMania moment, and it was one of the greatest moments of my life. And you know what, I'm planning to have another one or whatever eventually. So yeah, that's what he was saying. But then LA Knight was talking a lot more crap, and Xavier Woods was like, Adam Pearce, I know you're hearing, so if you want to make this match official, bring a ref down here. And ref comes running down. We get to a match. It was LA Knight versus Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods at ringside. So yeah, it was a 1-on-1 match between LA Knight and Kofi Kingston. It was a pretty good match. It was going back and forth and everything. But at one point, we see LA Knight getting out the ring and attacking Xavier Woods from behind and everything, beating him down and stuff. And then he tries to run to Kofi Kingston at the turnbuckles. Kingston moves out the way. He jumps off the top turnbuckle, and the LA Knight leaps up there on the very top turnbuckle. Xavier Woods distracts him with the trombone blown in his face, but then Kofi Kingston comes up pushing LA Knight's legs. LA Knight falls and, lands on the top turnbuckle, rolls off of it, and then he turns around getting hit with the Trouble in Paradise from Kingston, getting pinned for the 3 count. So yeah, Kofi Kingston defeated LA Knight tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. That's what happened. It was a pretty good match. For that match, I give it 2.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. But yeah, pretty good right there. But yeah, up next we're going to be seeing the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley face to face up next on Friday Night SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, we had the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair make her way down to the ring, and she starts talking about Rhea Ripley and stuff that she'll be facing Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. She'll retain her title and all that stuff, just like how she beat Rhea Ripley a few years ago for the NXT Women's Championship, because Rhea Ripley says that, that she was the one that got put in her place and all that, and she says, and Charlotte was like, well, I was just trying to teach her a lesson and all that for wanting to try to step up like that. So yeah, that's what Charlotte Flair was saying, up until she gets interrupted by Dominic Mysterio. Dominic comes out. Charlotte was like, why are you out here? And Dominic was like, well, I just want to talk to you because I feel like we got a lot of stuff in common. Like, you're a 2nd generation superstar, I'm a 3rd generation superstar. We both, our dads ain't nothing pretty much, and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what he was saying. And then he was talking about how mommy would beat you at WrestleMania and all that stuff. She won't lose a second time to you now. And that's what he was saying. And he goes like, well, you're the queen and all that stuff. And Charlotte was like, well, I already got like a Latino man at home that calls me mommy and stuff. So yeah, that's what Charlotte was saying. And Dominic was talking a lot of crap to Charlotte, talking about her dad and stuff, and she goes like, whoa, my dad's 73, about to be 74, which will be tomorrow. Happy birthday to him. And that's what Charlotte was saying. And then Charlotte was saying that if he was here, he'll beat your ass right now, but since he's not, I'll do it. And then she drops the mic, starts walking up to Dominic, up until Rhea Ripley's music hits. She comes down, gets face to face with Charlotte Flair. Dominic backs her up. They can both get out of the ring. And then Charlotte holds up the SmackDown Women's Championship. And then Rhea Ripley gets back into the ring, getting face to face with Charlotte Flair again. And then getting backed up again. So yeah, that's what happened. Pretty good segment though. Pretty good way to start kicking off this feud again between Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair up to WrestleMania. So yeah, pretty good stuff. But it looks like up next we're going to be seeing Natalya with Tegan Nox at ringside versus Shayna Baszler 1-on-1 up next on SmackDown. So yeah, that match will be happening up next. So yeah, see you guys later. Until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, it was a one-on-one match. It was Shayna Baszler with Ronda Rousey at ringside versus Natalya with Tegan Nox at ringside in a one-on-one match. So yeah, Shayna Baszler versus Natalya one-on-one. And yeah, we get to this match, and it was an okay match. It was going back and forth and everything. Natalya was doing okay. She had a baseball slide onto Shayna Baszler outside the ring. She gets out of the ring, grabs Shayna Baszler, throws her back into the ring, getting face-to-face with Ronda Rousey because both of them starts arguing. Natalya gets on the ring apron. While she was getting up on the ring apron, she gets kneed right in the face by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler grabs her, drags her in the middle of the ring, locking on the armbar, making Natalya tap out. So yeah, Shayna Baszler defeated Natalya tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. That's what happened. Ronda Rousey gets in the ring. Tegan Nox was trying to get into the ring, but she gets knocked off the ring apron by Shayna Baszler with a big boot, and then Shayna Baszler grabs Natalya's arm so Ronda Rousey can attack her shoulder or whatever. And as soon as Ronda Rousey was about to attack her shoulder, Tegan Nox comes in, attacking Ronda Rousey, laying her out, and Ronda quickly rolled out the ring, and Shayna got out the ring. So yeah, that's what happened. Tegan Nox and Natalya was standing tall. But yeah, for the match and what happened after the match and all that stuff, I'll give it 1.5 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was like nothing really too special. So yeah, that's why I'll give it there. But yeah, that's what happened there. Later on tonight on SmackDown, we will see Rey Mysterio versus Kross one-on-one later on tonight on SmackDown. So yeah, I'll see you guys later until the next thing that happens on Friday Night SmackDown. See you guys later until then. So the next thing that happened on Friday Night SmackDown, now before I talk about the next match, which was Rey Mysterio versus Kross, there was a few things that happened. We see Bray Wyatt doing the Firefly Funhouse, doing a lot of stuff. You gotta go check it out. With him watching on the TV screen of him telling about how he wants to either face Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar, whoever's the winner, at WrestleMania and all that stuff. And, you know, he's just doing the Firefly Funhouse, being weirdo Bray Wyatt and stuff like that, which is always entertaining. I really like the Firefly Funhouse and stuff, so yeah, really good stuff right there. And then we get to the next match. It was Rey Mysterio versus Kross with Scarlett at ringside, and it was a pretty good match between those two guys. In my opinion, this is probably their better match than what they had a few weeks ago. I can say that much, in my opinion. It was back and forth and everything. They was doing pretty good. Rey Mysterio was taking control of this match a little bit on Kross and everything, and he was doing pretty good. And we see Kross pretty much, you know, trying to take out Rey Mysterio a lot of times in this match. But we get to pretty much the ending of this match between those two guys, and pretty much Rey Mysterio knocks Kross on the second rope, trying to hit the 619 onto him, up until Scarlett gets on the ring apron. She was on the ropes, and when Rey hit the ropes, Scarlett flips over the ropes, and the referee's checking on Scarlett. Rey was trying to hit the 619 onto Carrie. Dominic catches his leg, so Dominic pops out of nowhere, grabbing him and pulling him out of the ring and stuff, getting face-to-face with him. Referee turns around and notices that they're face-to-face. Rey gets back into the ring. He gets clocked with a forearm by Kross, and then Kross locks on the Kross jacket onto Rey, making him tap out. So yeah, Kross defeated Rey Mysterio tonight in a one-on-one match. That's what happened. But then after the match ended, Dominic gets in the ring. They get face-to-face. Dominic keeps on pushing Rey. Rey wouldn't fight back, and he just kept on pushing him and pushed him. Rey was thinking about fighting back, puts his fist up, but then decides not to and rolls out the ring and gets out. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff, though, for the match between Kross and Rey Mysterio. I'll give it 3 stars. That's why I'll give it. It was a pretty good match between those two guys. So yeah, that's why I'll give it. But actually, before that match even happened, we see a segment backstage with Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman. Jimmy Uso's talking to Solo about Jey, and then Paul Heyman comes up and he says that he got off the phone with the Tribal Chief, and the Tribal Chief said if Jimmy can't handle Jey tonight, he'll come to SmackDown next week and handle him for him. So yeah, that's what apparently Roman Reigns said about Jey Uso. So yeah, that's what happened there. But up next, we're going to be seeing Jimmy Uso walking to the ring up next, calling out Jey Uso, it looks like. So, yeah, that will be happening up next on SmackDown. So, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Until then. So, the next thing to happen on Friday Night SmackDown, it was the last segment of the night. It was one half of the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, Jimmy Uso. He comes down to the ring, and he grabs the mic, and he starts talking on the mic, talking about how he is calling out his brother Jey Uso, wants Jey to come down to the ring so he can talk to him and everything. And then all of a sudden, while Jimmy Uso was talking, Sami Zayn comes up through the crowd wearing a hoodie and stuff, gets in the ring. Jimmy Uso turns around, he notices Sami Zayn, and Sami was like, look, I don't want to fight you. I don't want to do none of that. Let's just talk. And Jimmy was, talking to Sami, and Sami was talking about how he told Jey the same thing, and he's going to tell Jimmy there's a way out for him. He don't got to go down with the ship or anything like that. He says that, that family shouldn't be treating family like this, like controlling them and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what Sami Zayn was talking about, and he was talking about how it hurt him when Jimmy was like that Jimmy was behind him since day one, with him becoming the honorary Uso and all that, and how Jey was the one that didn't trust in him. But then at the end of the day, Jey was the one that started trusting him and took care of him, and Jimmy had no hesitation on attacking him at the Royal Rumble. So yeah, that's what Sami was talking about. And, Sami was like, you was my dog, you was my brother and everything. I consider you like that, but now it looks like we ain't gonna never be like that again. So yeah, that's what he was saying. But then all of a sudden, while they was talking, going back and forth and everything, Jey Uso pops up in the crowd, and he's like up there at the stands and stuff. Sami Zayn notices him, and then Jimmy Uso starts attacking Sami Zayn, beating him down and stuff, stomping on him and everything in the corner. And then he goes up to one side of the turnbuckles while Jey already got to the barricade. He's like at the barricade, but he's still over it, like with the crowd and stuff. And Jimmy was telling him to come on in to help him out, beat up Sami Zayn. And then Jimmy Uso turns around, he gets hit with a hula kick by Sami Zayn. So yeah, Jimmy Uso gets taken out. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso staring at each other pretty much. And then Solo Sikoa comes running down to the ring. Sami Zayn quickly gets out of the ring, jumps over the barricade, while Jey and Sami still looking at each other. So yeah, that's what happened there. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, that segment right there was a pretty good segment. I really liked it. Match of the night for me was probably that 6-man tag team match. Or I could say Rey Mysterio versus Karrion Kross. That match was really good as well. But yeah, this segment with the Usos and Sami Zayn and stuff was pretty good. But next week on SmackDown, there's a lot of stuff. Roman Reigns will be on SmackDown next week, so he'll be returning to SmackDown after a few weeks. Not only that, we'll see Natalya and Tegan Nox versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler in the tag team match. And they got Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan one-on-one next week. So yeah, many stuff to come for next week's SmackDown. But yeah, for tonight's Friday Night SmackDown, I'll give it 7.5 stars. That's what I'll give it. It was a pretty good episode of SmackDown. So yeah, that's what I'll give tonight's episode. But yeah, that has been my Friday Night SmackDown reviews. Like, subscribe to Team W Wrestling on YouTube, subscribe to my other channel, Word of Chris, and subscribe to this channel, Chris Videos, and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and both of my TikToks. I'll be down there in the description box. And I'll see you guys later for this Monday's Monday Night Raw reviews. See you guys later. Until then.